My name is Sangeetha from Chennai, Thiruvanmiyur. I am in a leadership role in a bank. So I think sound itself came into my life in a rare coincidence, but that's another story. So the 21-day experience, I remember the first day very vividly again. So that was my first on the body, if that's what you call it, experience with the bowl. And that thumping, when you keep it on the chest and you play it, was really something else. I think it did a lot of things for me. It also triggered something, and it also calmed me in a very weird way. And I remember going back home and messaging her and telling her that I'm feeling very sleepy and drowsy. I think that was a working day, and I slept for 3-4 hours before I started work. I mean, she said just go and sleep, and I was like, I just took it at face value, and I did that. I also remember I was like, I was pooping a lot that day, like normal in terms of whatever, but a few times a day. And I realized, okay, this is really going to open up something. So I almost had to brace myself on that particular day. Interestingly, that's probably the biggest physical experience I had with the whole, healing sessions. Everything else is emotional, and it did open up quite a lot in that sense. So I think a couple of things, for me in terms of the way it played out. One, I think in a weird way, it got me to a point of acceptance. I mean, I've gone through quite a lot of shit in the last couple of years. Last year was the worst. I thought I had put it to rest, and I was kind of back to normal. And as I started doing this, it kind of started showing up. There are things unresolved still, and it kind of gave me that awareness, right, that this is still there and it needs to be fixed. I realized over the 21-day period, my gentle acceptance of things, that this is what it is. You just have to kind of accept it and move on. That started building up. I have a massive, like an amazing support system today in friends, etc. But I also started getting abandonment issues in the last, say, 1.5 years because I was kind of dependent on them to deal with anything that I go through. And there was a remarkable switch in me in the sense that I was learning to let go. So it didn't affect me that much, whether, if someone was not reciprocating in a particular way, they're not calling to check on me or whatever. So that letting go was massive for me, because at one point I started worrying that, am I getting too dependent on a set of people to kind of exist and go on with my life. So small switches like this, but very profound in the kind of ways it played out. And something else I gained, which was completely, I guess, out. And I realized I actually learned to surrender over, those few days that played out. And it was a day when I could actually feel all through that 10-minute, there was something flowing all through my body, right? It almost felt orgasmic in a very non-sexual way, if I can say that. And there was something going on. My body was buzzing throughout, to the extent that I almost, at the end of it, I wanted it to stop because it was doing a lot for me. So that was one. And I think there was a lot of tingling sensation that did happen on more. I think emotionally it gave me a lot. It gave me, indications of where I need to do work. I think I'm in a very peaceful place now. I mean, I'm always contained as a person, so people generally can't see too much around me. But I think I'm very comfortable with my own self, a lot more comfortable with my own self right now. And I think that's a big thing that I've gotten out of the 21 days session. A lot that is coming out, but I was not able to just give myself the permission to let it go. And I was done with her by morning, so it was just me and my laptop and work and all of that. And at 6:37, I was telling her on chat, and she said, why don't you just go and dip yourself in the pool and let yourself be. And that was a working day. I can't necessarily easily close at 7, but something about the way she said it, it was like Vedavaka, if you guys understand that word, right? I just had to do it. And I went, and on a working day for me to switch into my swimsuit to go down and do it is all work actually, but I did it. And that letting go was very real. I was there for a while. I did swim. It was not like I was only floating, but I think that there was just something about surrendering to the fact that there is only so much you can influence, and it is okay to trust the process and let it be. Knowing how I deal with grief of any sort in the last few years, this is not how I would have typically dealt with it. So, and that's what I mean when I say acceptance. It's a very all-encompassing word, but I think at so many levels, in so many ways, I can see myself just accepting. And I was speaking to Kusumji earlier, she used the word allowing, which was beautiful. So maybe it is that, right? Just accepting and allowing that this is what it is, this is how it will play out, and you know, you just go with it. So yeah, that's another thing that recently happened, which I can see a difference in the way I am adapting myself and accepting myself and accepting as well. So